Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Michigan Outdoorsman here. Today I'm very excited to show you guys this new chassis. This is from Outlier. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, so let's back up a little bit. This is how it actually arrived. It's this micro chassis system. It's essentially you're buying this. This is their micro chassis, or no, it's a modular micro chassis or something like that. Maybe it's a modular. I'm sorry, I'm butchering, I should know this. But you got their modular chassis system, which you're buying. And then from there, you choose your add-ons. So you buy this with whatever footprint your gun is. This right here is a Remington 700 short action. From there, you go on the website. They don't have a lot of options, but you can buy a grip. This grip. As of this moment of this recording, this is the only grip they sell. The other options that I said too soon were going to be for this butt stock here. You get a lighter tube or a heavier tube. There's like 3 or 4 different tubes you can choose from that are more hollowed out for lighter rifles. I'm in the bag rider right down here, this bag rider. You can make them heavier or buy them heavier or lighter based on your preference. There's really nothing for the length of pull, but the length of pull is adjustable via some set screws on both sides of this tube system here, where you can lock it in. They have little milled rings that the set screws will set into. This is a limb saver butt pad, which is actually really squishy. I kind of like it. And one cool thing that I don't think they mentioned is it's got QD flush cups machined in there. Maybe they did say something about it. Obviously, cheek piece is adjustable. This forend here, which I bought, is a 15-inch. It's their longest one they offer. And so what I did with the whole build sheet is I went through and I bought the heaviest bag rider they made, and then I bought the heaviest tube, you know, for your cheek weld almost. Not quite for your cheek weld, but your tube right there, just to keep everything heavy as possible. This is a PRS rifle. That's what I use it for mostly. I'm not taking it squirrel hunting necessarily, although I will. But this is supposed to be a heavy rifle. So I know there's other chassis systems that give you quite a bit for your money. This is not the only one, and this is probably by far the cheapest I've ever seen. But you get what you pay for. So you have to expect that you can't have high expectations. You can't have demands for certain things unless you're paying for it, okay? So two of the other chassis systems that come to mind that are really competitive in price, I think that are worth the money, would be the Ultradyne chassis. Those are some really good feature-rich chassis for the price. And then XLR, which I almost bought around Christmas time last year. And I wish I would have, because I still want to buy one, and they have like a 20-week lead time, so I would have had mine by now, or right around now actually. So, but the XLR, you look at it, they get you on their price right off the bat. You look at it and it says 500 bucks, you know, 600 bucks for the chassis. Well, that doesn't include a butt stock, that doesn't include the grip, that doesn't include certain things, kind of like this. They get you with this. This right here is $299 or something like that right off the bat. And that might have been their sale price, but I'm just saying it was a low price, but you're only buying this. You're not buying the stock, you're not buying the grip, you're not buying the forend. So you see that low price and you don't realize what you're getting. So obviously, if you're on the website for any length of time, you'll know you need that, but that's what makes them sound so affordable. But the XLR chassis system, when I kitted it all up with what I wanted, I was well over $1,000 into that. And the same thing with the Ultradyne chassis. They are roughly 700 to 1,000 bucks, maybe a little bit under actually. I went with this because it's cheap, and Arkin, the way I understand it, Arkin makes this. It's like a second company of theirs. And it's not widely known, so I figured I'd kind of bring some attention to it and see how I like it. The things to note is I don't think they really designed it for PRS, you know, or anything super heavy. Obviously, the rifle can be heavy with your weights and all that. With the 3 sets of weights I put on this gun and buying the heaviest of everything, my gun with this barreled action and scope came in at like 18.5 pounds. That's plenty heavy for me. So I'm comfortable running that for a weight. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's not a one, do all for everything, but I think it's for the price, it's going to be worth your money. And like I was starting to say, Arkin has made some great scopes. So if you are okay with missing a few small features and not having that name brand price tag, associated with the name on the side of your chassis system, then Outlier might be something for you to consider. Plus, I believe you can put any AR-15 tube on there anyway, so if you found a stock you like with another rifle, just screw that in there, and Bob could be your uncle. So one thing I'll note that a lot of chassis systems are doing, even the budget ones like Ultradyne and XLR, is they are including an adjustable mag latch or mag release, whatever you want to call it, okay? So that is very important for rimfire, because these stock B14R mags, which it's a stock mag with an extension, so I don't know if you want to call it a stock mag, it's got a little bit of slop, and I found out when I load into barricades, you watch this top follower, it pulls it down enough to where I ram the bullet right into the chamber face and not into the chamber itself. They do drop free really nice. So what I had to do for my 22 is I had to buy the L3i designed mags, and these are excellent mags too. I'm still working out, just getting used to them, I guess, because you have a lot of options for adjustment on them. Well, really 2, but more than stock. So we'll go over how to set the mags to this. That's going to be necessary if you're going to fit them into a 22 LR. So I highly recommend, while you're waiting for this to be made, mine took a little over 3 weeks to be built. I think they make them to order or something like that. While you're waiting on these to be made, I would say go to L3i or somebody that sells L3i and buy these rimfire mags. Make sure they're right for your gun, the right model, and get those coming so you're not waiting on those when you get this and find out your stock mags won't work, okay? Okay, so enough of me rambling. I'm going to put all this back together. We're going to Loctite everything, because I can't really show you guys on YouTube, is obviously the buttstock screws into the modular chassis, okay? There's a flat on this, and they're going to give you a small set screw that's going to go into that hole there. That's going to lock down that system, okay? Obviously, set your length of pull by pulling this apart to whatever you need for your length. You can get that locked down too. Make sure your bag rider's tight. And then this forend has 4 screws that hold it on. You've got 2 flathead cap screws, which look like this. I'll show you guys a close-up of them. It's got 2 flathead cap screws that go into the sides, both sides. And then it's got 2 button head cap screws that go into the bottom. And then you're going to receive a very long bolt and a short bolt. And that short one and the long one are going to be for your actual mounting your receiver to the chassis system. So, also there's a secondary short bolt for the grip. I forgot to mention that. I have it stuck in there right now. You can't really see it probably, but it's in there. So that's how you keep this in place. And this looks like it'll take any AR-15 style mag or any AR-15 style grip. So I'm probably going to buy the MDT adjustable grip because that looks like the way to go. So that being said, I'm going to go do all of that off camera and we'll come back when the gun's put back together. Okay, let's take a little break here. One cool thing I want to show is these weights from Salmon River Solutions. These guys here make this awesome weight, which maybe other companies make it as well, I don't know. But they're the only company I know of that makes an offset weight. Now I have not looked super hard, but this is the MDT weight that I ran before on my other gun. Holes are centered with the weight. These here are offset. What that does is that allows you to, on a cheaper chassis like this, where they don't have a lot of width up top here, height, this type of weight is going to block your ARCA rail to where you can't run your bipod on your ARCA rail, okay? Because I ran into the same problem with these weights on my Pantera rail for my FX air gun, okay? Completely blocked the thing. You can see my holes line up right there, okay? I'm not making this up. So a terrible design on FX for designing the chassis that way, and also Outlier. I know they're probably saving money by not making things as tall. I get that. Like I said, when you pay the price you pay, you can't expect everything to be perfect. So looking at this chassis system, I wasn't sure how tall the rail was going to be. So I went and bought these from Salmon River Solutions just because I wanted them for the Panthera rail or some other guns of mine. They're just a good to have because it doesn't hurt anything to have it raised just in case. Well, sure enough, you need these to stay above. Once you get them clicked in place there, you can see how much room you have. It's enough for your bipod to slide on. Without these weights, I would only be able to mount my bipod in areas that I left weights off, which, with the way this build's going, I need more weights. So I'd have to have this whole thing covered in weights. I wouldn't be able to mount my bipod anywhere. So what's the point of that? So we've got past all that with the Salmon River Solutions. Now, I am not sponsored by them whatsoever, but I do highly recommend their products. Give them a look up on their website. I'll post it in the description below. These guys make some quality stuff, okay? Let me intervene here one more time. With this cheaper chassis system, if you look at the ARCA, it doesn't come all the way back. Not a big deal. It really isn't, not to me. Come over here, ARCA does not completely go out the other end. It's got a stop built in. Some people might like it. I do not. Once again, it's not a deal breaker, but when you try taking your bipod off in a match hastily because you want to, because it's faster than collapsing the legs, you just slide it off the end, you're going to run into that stop right there. So now you have to unthread your nut. You have to loosen your bipod all the way up for it to drop off. Not a deal breaker for me, but it might be for some of you guys, so pay attention to that stuff when you're checking these things out. You just can't slide your gun on or off ARCA systems, which is handy when you're on the clock. Like I said, this wasn't truly designed around a PRS that I know of, just because I think if it was, it'd be a one piece, and it would be heavier built maybe, and taller, and adjustable mag stuff. There'd be things, I think, if they built it around the true PRS platform, it would be set up differently. But you get what you pay for, it's still worth the money. All right, now that we have the rifle assembled, let's go over these L3i mags. I know we're spending a lot of time here, and this is supposed to be just an initial thought video, but I can't ever do anything quickly. So these L3i mags are adjustable. You got a set screw right there that pushes the plate out, the mag catch out, or it pulls it in, or I guess it lets it stay in by the screw tension up here. This is what sets your height up and down, your sliding height, and it creates pressure this way up against the mag. So this mag is set perfect. I've got no issues with it. 200 rounds through it. This mag here we still need to set. What I did is I loaded it up, stuck it in the gun with the bolt closed, and seen how much wiggle I had. And I just kept on sticking it in there till I had less and less wiggle. Kept on adjusting it, I'm sorry, till I had less and less wiggle. Now, because I have one that's already set, I'm probably just gonna match this one up. Okay, so I've got 13 rounds in this mag. I'm gonna show you guys what I do to adjust this. So you see how we got that wiggle. We don't want that wiggle. This is my other mag with 13 rounds in it. I just swapped it off camera. That has got no play, little to no play, and it does not seem to affect it loading when I'm piled into it, okay? So now to show you guys how to duplicate this, make sure your safety's on, which it is. I'm going to press hard into this, okay? Press hard into this, I'm going to close the bolt. Got no issues, okay? This one here, can't close it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back latch out. We're going to loosen this, and then it's a 3/32 set screw. We're just going to give it a turn. We want as little as possible because we want these mags to drop free, and they don't drop very free when you get that latch out. I might actually adjust that one just a little bit too. I'm going to eyeball my gap because I know what it was at before, roughly. Right there. That took some effort to push in. You just couldn't slap it in. Now I pull down on that. Still got the same issue. Lovely. Yeah, I think that bullet was just a little jacked up. I just rotated it, just ran it over and it cycled. So, all right guys, so we're out here behind my barns. We've got, right now we're at 75 yards roughly. What I'm gonna do is be shooting some targets, mostly just to show how this chassis performs through the scope cam I just put on there. The reticle will be a little steadier. I don't have a good proper before and after like I probably should have done with the stock. But one quick thing I wanted to add to this whole new build is I took the Bergara follower out of their original mag and I put it into this L3i mag. Obviously you're going to lose your little thumb tab, you know, to help you load the ammo, but I'm having 0 rim lock issues when I load up to 14 rounds in this mag. Now with the stock follower removed and the Bergara follower put in, I can actually load 17. When I load 16, 17 rounds, I get 1 rim lock, and it's usually the first or second round right off the top. After that, I have 0 issues. Loading to 10 or 12, and even 14, I have 0 issues with rim lock. And it loads really easy, and I just added these little marker to know how many rounds I got. The first one's 10, 12, 14, 16, and then the bottom one's 17, which I don't have 17 marked on this mag. So we're 75 yards. We got probably 10-mile-an-hour wind swirling just a little bit. I hope it's not getting picked up in the mic too much. But we're just gonna fire some rounds downrange and show you guys what this rifle is capable of with this chassis system and how much it benefits me as the shooter. Right off the bat, I noticed because of the weights, mostly the weights, is just how solid that rifle is. You put it in a bag and it just beds itself, so it doesn't move. That's what I've always wanted, and I can't get that out of the factory stock without adding the weights to the forend, which makes it so bulky you can't grip it. So this is a more slimmer design, and it actually is very stiff. Even though it's a multi-piece chassis system, it's very stiff. There's no give whatsoever, and I'm very particular about how things work. And I was very suspicious of having a multi-piece system, but the way Arkin does their scopes, I figured their chassis systems have got to be second to none when it comes to the budget lines. So far impressed. We don't have thousands of rounds on this chassis yet, but we've got several hundred already. So we'll give it a little more time, and I'll do some updates as we come along with things, but for now I'm very impressed with it. I'll do some drills real quick and show you guys just how this thing runs. Well, that wraps up the video for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any questions about this chassis system or the rifle, the optic or anything, just reach out and let me know. I'll gladly answer any questions that I can. I have another PRS match coming up this month. I'll be running this gun in, so hopefully we have all the little issues worked out by then. Just getting to know the chassis and the new mags better. So hopefully we'll have some footage of that coming up too, just to see how this thing performs under a little bit of stress. But yeah, thank you guys for your time. Stay safe and God bless.